Usually when you get first-hand accounts of rock star home lives, it's piles of drugs and women. But in this Elvis cookbook, we learned that some insiders have told stories about dinners at Graceland where there were mountains of mashed potatoes and bowls of gravy almost large enough to swim in. And those bowls of gravy seldom went back to the kitchen without the bottoms being visible. So obviously I needed to try this recipe. Start with 1.5 pounds of peeled potatoes. Cut them into small pieces of the same size and put them in a pot of cold water. Put them on a medium-high stove top until they start to boil, and then about 15-20 minutes until they're tender. In the meantime, melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a medium saucepan set on medium-high before adding in 3/4 pound of sausage. Let that ground sausage go for a while, evaporating most of the liquid, getting a good brown on. Once the ground sausage is cooked and brown to your liking, you can add in 4 or 5 tablespoons of flour. Mix that in and cook it for about 2 minutes, stirring until that raw flour is cooked off. Next, we need to add 3 cups of milk. I did it about 1/2 cup at a time, just to make sure it was the right consistency. I was doing a recipe and a half and just wanted to play with it a little bit. You can just throw it all in at once. Let it cook for a few minutes. You want to let it thicken up. Now you can salt and pepper to your own taste, and optionally add in some gratings of fresh nutmeg. Now we can just let that simmer on low, because at about this time our potatoes are going to be ready. Take out a piece and make sure it's tender when punctured with a fork. If it is, you can drain the potatoes. Return the cooked potatoes into the saucepan and then add in 1/3 cup of milk and 4 tablespoons of butter, mashing that up until they're mashed. And finally, seasoning with salt and black pepper to taste. Then you can serve this out onto a plate. I chose a big old bowl, big old Elvis size serving, because this was my dinner. Couple of scoops of mashed potatoes and then plenty of that Smoky Mountain sausage gravy on top. And it looks pretty decent. You could use some color, maybe some parsley, but I didn't have any, so we press on. So was it any good? Yeah, it was great. I've made sausage gravy before and it's always basically the same recipe. You can always add sage or parsley in there to any spice is really your friend. Dip some of Elvis's favorite biscuits in there if you'd like. I'll link the recipe for that. And as always, thank you for your support. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.